Once again, I welcome you to my channel. Today, we shall talk about the lesson Attitude is Altitude. We do have 6 units in 10th class, and every unit has a theme. If you understand the theme, the lessons from reading A, B and C will be related to that. The theme of the first unit is personality and development. Today, in the modern world, this topic has become or gained importance in rampant. Everyone wants to read and develop their personalities. Here, personal development means the overall development physically as well as mentally. They have given 3 pictures in the beginning of the lesson. One is of Sudha Chandran, second one is of Stephen Hawking, and the third one is of Helen Keller. Sudha Chandran, who was born in 1965, she met an accident in her childhood. She was a dancer, Bharatanatyam dancer, and that accident was so severe that the right leg of Sudha Chandran has to be amputated. Now, a person who has a dream has to persuade that dream. But when you lose a leg, especially a dancer, then how much it will be difficult to cope with the situation. Sudha Chandran never lost her hope, and she got an artificial foot from Jaipur, which is called Jaipur foot, and from there she practiced. Again she came onto the stage, she performed, and she again got her fame and name. She acted in films, produced films. Now presently she acts in TV serials, etc. Her physical disability did not hinder her. She moved forward and she became a great personality in life. The first para starts like this. Imagine that you don't have hands, and when you get an itching sensation, how will you scratch? The hands to wrap your loved ones, to hug them, to your beloved. Can you imagine how can you run without legs? How can you walk, bicycle or skateboard? If you imagine that you don't have your hands and legs both, how will you feel? There is a person called Nick Vujicic. Nick Vujicic, who is 26-year-old, is a torso. Here, torso means no arms and legs. If you see the line, but he doesn't let the details stop him. The physical disability doesn't stop him. Though he is a torso, He plays football and golf, swims and surfs despite having no limbs. He doesn't have limbs, but he participates actively in all the sports. The spirit in him is very high. The next para starts like this. Nick has a small foot on his left hip, which helps him to balance as well as it enables him to kick. He uses that foot to write and to hold the pen with his toes and sometimes other things also. Can you imagine? I heard that you make the serious situation trivial. How positively he is spirited. You can understand that he calls it that hip which is having calls it as my chicken drumstick. The first para starts like this. Imagine that you don't have hands, and when you get an itching sensation, how will you scratch? The hands to wrap your loved ones, to hug them, to your beloved. Can you imagine how can you run without legs? How can you walk, bicycle or skateboard? If you imagine that you don't have your hands and legs both, how will you feel? There is a person called Nick Vujicic. His parents decided not to send to a special school. Mind you, in a special school, we do have the students who are physically challenged or disabled. Nick himself called it as a hard decision, but he also supports that has been the best decision they could have made for him. Because if he goes to the normal school, he can face the challenges. The parents decided because they have to prepare him to become independent. Now the real story starts. When Nick was born, his father was so shocked that he went out of the hospital to vomit. His mother, who couldn't bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months. Because when we see such type of image in real, we get shocked. In the same way, the parents of Nick who got shocked by seeing him. But this was temporary. When they got consciousness, they tried their best to make Nick independent. They tried in all ways, possible ways, to make him independent. Nick's disability came without any medical explanation. He was suffering from a disease called phocomelia. His parents were thinking why this cruel thing or trick happened to them. His mother, who was a nurse, took all the precautionary steps which she has to take while pregnancy. But Nick got this disease. It was a rare disease. There was no medical explanation for them. When his parents recovered from shock, They tried all their best to make him independent. Can you imagine at the age of 18, he was put in the water to make him swim and to give him courage. As we all know that courage and confidence plays very important in our life. If you have the courage and confidence, you can get success in your life. His father was a computer programmer. He made Nick at the age of 6 how to learn typing with his small foot, with his toe, which has only two fingers. His mother made a device, a plastic device, which can hold the pen and the pencil. And Nick says that it was a very hard decision, difficult decision for them to send him to a normal school, not to a special school. Mind you, there was a high risk of bullying him, teasing, harassing him. But he went to the normal school. Special schools are meant for the disabled persons, but they sent him to the normal school, or what you call common school, so that he can learn and face the challenges. He was so depressed at the age of 10, he tried to kill himself by drowning in the bath, but luckily the attempt was not successful, unsuccessful. He believed because there was no purpose and strength, what is the use of life? But later on, with the religion, friends, and family support, he managed to pull through and became an international symbol of triumph over adversity. He became a symbol of victory. A person without limbs, he managed. Now he is giving inspirational speeches to the world. He inspires to the young generation. Okay. Nick says a beautiful line. We must be thankful to God for what He has given. We must not be angry for what He has not given. He stood before the mirror and he realized himself. It is very important that we must realize what we don't have, and we must give importance to what we have. He did the same thing. He realized that he doesn't have the limbs, he doesn't have hands and legs, but he realized that he has beautiful eyes. I want to quote the beautiful lines of Nick. I quote, "The challenges in our lives are there to strengthen our convictions. They are not there to run us over." For this conviction and courage, in 1990, Nick was given the Australian Young Citizen Award for his bravery and perseverance. Nick has the quality of perseverance, and all the students must have that quality to try regularly and hard to their destination, to their goal. Nick also has the humoric quality. Once he was going in a car and a girl was looking at him interestingly because she could see only the head, He made a 360-degree spin. She was so shocked that she could get a sound like, "Ooh, what is that?" And she moved quickly from there. Once he traveled to Hawaii in 2008, where he met a surfing master, Bethany Hamilton. What was the tragedy with her is she was bitten by a shark at the age of 12. He went there to learn surfing and he learned. In the beginning he was terrified, but he learned how to make 360-degree spin on the boat because the gravity of his body was less. He could learn very easily. We must also know that how much he was interested in new sports. In 48 hours, he was in the Surfer magazine. His photo was on the Surfer magazine because of his achievement, his passion and dedication made him on the Surfer magazine. He traveled 24 countries. It might be more than that. And he could talk to the groups of 110,000 people, such a big gathering. He is a great motivational speaker. He traveled to many countries. In 2007, he moved to Los Angeles in America. He continued to travel around the world. In 2009, he visited South America and the Middle East. But a lovely, beautiful thing happened in 2008. Kane Miyahara, a beautiful young lady whose mother was a Mexican and father was a Japanese, attended to his meeting, where Nick was the guest speaker, that too in Texas, America. She was so much attracted by his message. Okay. From then, both of them met, shared their views and their ideas on giving hope to others. Finally, they decided to marry, and the engagement happened in 2011 August. You have to keep it in mind that because he has no hands and legs, he put his engagement ring on Kane's finger with his mouth, and he said the beautiful words where every woman wants to listen from her man's mouth, "Baby, I love you." On February 12th, 2012, they were married, and on February 13th, 2013, they were blessed with a healthy boy with a full body. The final mantra of Nick, the great saying, "If I fail," I quote, "if I fail, I try again and again and again." If you fail, are you going to try again? The human spirit can handle much worse than we realize. It matters how you are going to finish. Are you going to finish strong? It is important that we must rise when we fall. It is also important that we must not stop when we get some problem. it is also very important that we must always keep our spirit high. We must not let our problems dominate us. We must finish very strong, whether you lose or gain. Nick always says to the people to get up when they fall. He also says them to love themselves. It is very important that we must love ourselves, because it gives confidence, it gives courage. When you have the confidence and courage, nothing will stop you. Nick finally says he put himself in a humble way that if I inspire a single person, it is a great achievement. Can you imagine a person, a torso person has influenced so many people in this world? What are you going to do next? For yourself, for the people. Think and plan. Thank you very much.